Welcome to the show. You're listening to the Twosome podcast. I am Blair Wheeler, one of your co-hosts. I have with me DJ Thoma, my other co-host. We're super excited to have you here. We are very excited for this podcast.
I think it's something new and needed in the golf dad industry, right, Blair? I think that was something that triggered us right away. Is just finding that niche within golf, and the golf husband, golf dad, the golf family, and like you say, the chaos in between and balancing both.
Yeah, that's the thing that when we first met a few months ago, and we met through social media, like most relationships start out these days. And, we kind of clicked because we have very similar backgrounds. You mentioned it. We're both dads. We're both husbands. You're a way better cook than I am, so you have that going for you. I think your handicap's
social media self-proclaimed. I don't know how much weight that holds, but I can make a mean meal.
I burn eggs, so there's that. But yeah, so we connected. We have a lot of similarities, and we kicked this idea back and forth about podcast and how this is a crowded landscape, right? There's a ton of different ones that I listen to, both in golf and out of golf. But I think we have some unique perspectives, some unique connections. And I feel like there's an underrepresented community in golf. That's the relatable dad and husband. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to have a fun, relatable, podcast, weekly sort of situation. We can sit back, have a drink, and kind of talk about everything that's going on in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you said it perfectly too. It's like I was obviously aware over the past year, two, maybe even three, of just following you personally on my, like, being a normal social media fan of yours, right? And probably likewise the other way. And finally, like you said, we were able to connect in person at one of the events at the PGA show in Orlando.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've wanted to do as well, and I know you have too. So it's cool to see this finally come to life, and just showcase even like our life as what we do as creators in the social media world in a different way, and just be able to connect with our audience better. And I know a lot of people are in our same situation, the love of the game, the love of their family, right, and everything in between. So like you said, it's a crowded landscape, but I think where we come in as is connecting on different levels beyond just golf. But obviously, like, it's a golf podcast, so why we love it, things that it brings to us in our normal day lifestyle. So it's gonna be cool. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm hopeful where we look back in a few months, maybe a few years, whatever it may be, and be like, oh, remember that first time we recorded, and look where we are now. And hopeful for one of those moments, which would be awesome. So
yeah, hopefully. You never know where this thing could head. It's kind of like, I'm sure it. I don't know if it's your story, but it's mine in social media, right? Like, I just I wanted to play golf. I wanted to play more golf, and started documenting that journey, and here we are. So it's not a full-time job for me yet, but maybe one day.
Yeah, well, that's perfect. Like, intro, like, tell me and the audience, just about yourself. Tell us about, your side of golf, your content creation, your marketing, your family life, and then, kind of tell us your story.
Yeah, so I grew up in Myrtle Beach, and if you haven't been to Myrtle Beach, it's like the golf mecca. When I was growing up, there was 100 and maybe 20 courses in like a 60-mile radius.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's hard not to play golf. Like, my dad played, my grandfather played, and my mom had me in like lessons and junior leagues and all that stuff early, but I played every sport under the sun. And so I played golf my whole life. Never really took it seriously. I grew up surfing and surf, like, I guess what you would call semi-professionally, like, did the equivalent of like mini tours in surfing, like in golf and surfing. Never really did well, like, did good. I got sponsors and I got like, opportunities to travel and all that kind of thing. And traveled a lot as a kid, to, Central America, Latin America, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, so Caribbean. And so I got to travel a lot and always took surfing more seriously, but I was bouncing between surfing, football, baseball, soccer. I swam on the swim team. I played on the golf team in high school, played on the football team in high school. So I did a little bit of everything, right? And surfing was always my main thing. So then I went to Coastal. Shout out Dustin Johnson. He's a fellow Chanticleer and Coastal Carolina University. Got a degree in marketing, and then when I graduated, I got a job with one of my sponsors at the time, Hurley, which was the surf brand, and ended up working in the marketing department for them and worked there for 5 or 6 years. And then one of my last jobs there, I worked my way up the ladder at Hurley and in the marketing department. One of my last jobs was like 2007, 16 or 17. Last projects, I guess, not job. But we hired influencers for the first time. And there's a few influencers in the surf world, but one of them is now a friend of mine, Slater Trout. He came out to an event. We hired them to come out and Instagram was still like just pictures at the time. They came out, they took pictures, posted about it, posted on Snapchat, and Vine was still a thing.
Fine.
And so we had them out, and then I left and moved back to North Carolina, where my wife and I live now with our family. And I looked around the golf landscape, and I was like, "There's no really anybody doing this in golf. Like influencer, like golf is typically like 5 years behind the curve when it comes to any marketing." And so, yeah, there was nobody doing it in golf. Like Rick Shields was just starting his YouTube. Peter Finch was just sharing his YouTube. In retrospect, I should have started a YouTube because like I could have been good before good, but I just didn't have the time and capacity. And I have like this, I don't know if it's an inferiority complex or what, but I want it, whatever content I put out to be good because I have this like marketing brain. And so like I couldn't get over the fact that I would shoot something on my phone and it'd be grainy and it just was kind of shitty and like it wasn't great. So I just started posting pictures on Instagram about where I was playing that week, because when I moved back, I started playing more golf because my father-in-law was like single digit handicap is like a single digit handicap. And I was like, I can't let this dude beat me because I'm just married his daughter. Like, no way is this dude about to like smoke me every time we go play. So that was the whole impetus. Like, I'm going to play more golf now. And then started posting pictures about it. It was just a fun outlet. And then I got a free set of clubs from TaylorMade. And I was like, okay, this is real. Like I guess I was like 2018. I was like, this is real. I can do something here. And it's kind of all snowballed from there. So it's been fun. It's been a fun ride.
Awesome. So you've been married for how long now and how many kids?
We got married in 2017. So I guess we're coming up on 7 or 8 years.
Nice.
I'm from Myrtle Beach, like I said, so my math is not great. I always have to look back and count like every year.
I'm gearing up for. I just asked that question. Like I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, am I at 3 or 4 years now?
Yeah. So what I do every year is I count backwards and then I go on Google and I'm like, all right, what's the gift this year? Like an anniversary gift? Like, is it leather? Is it wood? What's the jewel? So I find out that way. But yeah, we got married. We have 3 kids. We have twins and a 1-year-old. So yeah, it's a wild ride. Not much casual golf is played anymore. I'll say that.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing too, and I'll kind of go into my background a little bit too. But I feel like everyone's like, "Oh, how awesome is it? Like, you get to work in the golf industry." And mind you, it's fantastic, right? It's great.
Yeah.
But I also will go. I had one yesterday, like a phone-free, just play golf, just for the love of the game for once. Typically, like in our industry, like we don't have that option very often because you're there and like how we are, like that's our job now. So I have that excuse of, hey babe, can I go and golf? And she'll be like, you know what? Like, do you really have to go? I'm like, I have to go work today.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a great excuse in the world. But then, just like a normal job, it kind of, it by no means does it get old or get sick, but like you just get filming or content ideas. It's just nice to like go and play for the love of the game that you like originally fell in love with. And for me, I think that's kind of where golf all started. Kind of similar to you, obviously, as a young kid, a boy growing up, you're going to play a lot of sports, whether it be soccer, football, baseball. My main sport was hockey. Grew up in Minnesota, so you're kind of like
Minnesota.
You're born to like play hockey there, right?
Yeah.
And it's where I grew up too is massive suburb of Minneapolis, a town called Eden Prairie. Pretty big high school, and it was interesting. Like once you got to that seventh, eighth grade, you were kind of like pick a sport instead of like playing multiple. At least that's how they made it feel.
Yeah.
Especially like for me, like I wasn't gonna play football and hockey at the same time. Like they kind of overlapped a little bit.
Yeah.
No
I was
one
going to ask, are they the
really
same
did.
season in high school?
Yeah, because football is fall up there, and hockey would start like before Thanksgiving, like in October. So like you have that gap period, and
Yeah.
maybe it was one of those things where the coaches like they also then they showcase like, oh, we love the dual sport athletes, right? Shout out Evan Thompson, dual sports.
Yeah.
But it's
No free ads.
yeah, but it was kind of like it was great, but they love that you've played multiple sports, but they would rather have you play like hockey and golf or hockey and baseball, right?
Yeah.
Um, I fell in love with the game really well, growing up, I played like when I was like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Kind of took a little bit of hiatus in the teenage years just from that 12 to like 16. I was playing hockey all summer long, didn't really have time to get out and play golf. And then when I turned 16, my dad's like, all right, um, you have to pay your own like gas, insurance, phone bill, kind of all that stuff when I could drive.
Yeah.
My first job was at a golf club called Bear Path, and a private course in Eden Prairie. And so I was obviously just doing golf services, bag room type situation, plugging in carts, picking range, cleaning clubs for tips, and that's where I truly like fell in love with the game of golf. And then being, working in the golf services, you were allowed to play if you weren't working and you weren't taking up tee times. Maybe there was a no show, and you're working a 6 to 2, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Maybe you can
Yeah.
slide out at like 2:30 after work. And so just from
That's
doing
awesome.
that, like when I fell in love with it, um, worked there for like 5, 6 years, kind of like high school, and then beginning of college. I went to college at Iowa State, and
Cyclones.
yep,
You and
cycle.
Brock Purdy, right?
Yep. Brock Purdy, a little David
Nice.
Montgomery action as well. He actually slept on my couch one night after a party. That was pretty cool. Um, but went down there, didn't play any sports. Graduated with an advertising degree, marketing minor. So
Cool.
I think it's kind of like that alignment, which that you and I have too, that background of like the marketing, and it's kind of funny like how I never thought I'd be on this side of the camera as you would, or
Yeah.
like
Same.
actually being the person who's giving you content. I always kind of thought I'd be like selling ad spots and like finding the influencers, right? Or finding those brand spots for, the Targets of the world, the TaylorMades of the world, or the whoever it may be, right? Like be employed by them to market like you were with Hurley, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then when I came out of school, I worked for our little family business. We have a flooring company up in Minnesota, and did that for a few years. My wife just begged me to move to Florida. Can we please move? Can we please move? I want to try something new. And so I was like, you know what? Let's just start our own life. Let's figure out our own way. She's been in the content game since literally Vine. She was like Vine famous.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I mean, back at that time, she's like 16, 17.
Yeah.
She's 28 right now. But she was like OG TikTok, and that's kind of what got me into that industry of like her posting videos. And I was like running the camera with her, and I was never on TikTok until like I don't know what 4 years ago, right? I was late to the game.
Yeah.
Um, Instagram I would have, but like wouldn't really post. And so she's like, you need to have an account like for carryover, and like people are gonna like just click on you just from watching my videos. And she's a couple million, like she does a great job on that. Um, and so I was like, what do I do? I have no idea. Like, what should I just pick something you love to do? Like, pick your hobby. I'm like, okay, golf. Like,
Yeah.
golf, and then like now that's transformed into cooking a little bit, with the golf. But
Yeah.
it's golf, and then like you said, there was no one at that time 4 or 5 years ago on that was really doing that for like a career path, or like making content heavily around that, right? So here we
Yeah.
are.
And even now, like, there's very few people who are. There's a ton of influencers, and
Hmm.
it's a small bubble, and you kind of know everybody.
Hmm.
Um, but there's very few people who I feel do it well. You're one of the
Mhm.
people that do it well. So
Mhm.
that's one of the reasons why I was so excited that we could do this, because, I think I do this stuff well, but I'm obviously biased in that opinion. And if I didn't think I did it
No,
well,
you do it
I
well. You do
probably,
it well. You're
I
good.
probably shouldn't be doing it. So, yeah, well, that's cool. This is my first time hearing your background too. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Um,
And what's cool too is like it's not everyone like you can't I don't want this to sound weird too, but you can't just like pick up the phone and like choose to be like an influencer, right? Like
no,
you can't expect to have that
and I'm
overnight.
sure you get it all the time. Like I get messages probably
Yeah.
2 or 3 a day. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to start doing content.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice? And my biggest thing is like, just do it.
Hmm.
You start talking in front of the camera. Start sending voice notes to people. If you are serious and want to do it, just do it.
Hmm.
But there's a huge caveat to it. It's harder than you think.
Yeah, it's not definitely not that overnight success, and some people have those. We've seen those firsthand, which is fantastic. But those are also people that, they say they're an overnight success, but they've been
Yeah, they've been doing
plotting.
it for a while.
They've had a game plan going in, and they have great content. They have a great
Yeah.
storyline. They're niched. The other thing too is like, oh, you have a niche market within golf, but it's like you have to find also what's in that niche that really kind of like separates you from someone else. It's not just like I say, no one's coming to my page to like watch me playing 18 holes of golf.
No,
They're not coming to see that.
I
They're
mean,
coming to
what's
see
your
other things.
handicap? You're 7,
Uh,
right?
right, no, right now I'm down to a 3.1.
Jesus, yeah,
Yeah,
you're way better than me.
we've been on a tear lately.
I'm hovering around like an 8-9.
Yeah,
But I wanted to get your take on this
yeah,
because
but you're
you're
who I
right.
lose money to.
Yeah, probably.
Because you can get on a hot streak and then I'm having to give 5 strokes to you, and like I have days where I can't go out, and like people are like, oh, you're a 3, you shot 81. It's like don't understand how the handicap system works, which
Yeah,
is a whole nother topic that we can
we'll
talk
probably have
about.
to do it. Maybe we'll work with the people at USGA and we'll do a
That would be sick.
podcast on
Yeah.
the handicap system.
Yeah.
Because they're based out of Pinehurst. Maybe you do a trip out here.
Sick.
So yeah, nobody's watching me play golf. They might want to watch you because you're a little better. But I wanted to get your take on this. I'm gonna try to
Mhm.
screen share because I saw it the other day. Because obviously we just had the Creator Classic,
Mhm.
and we I watched it, and I watched it,
Oh, yeah.
as a creator,
Mhm.
but I wanted, like, this guy, Jonathan Wanger or whatever his name is on Golf Channel, clearly not a creator, clearly dyes his mustache, but he had a take that I wanted to bring up on this podcast
Mhm.
and talk about it. Cause that's one of the things I want to do when we do these podcasts is like talk about current events and give our like opinions on them.
For sure.
So here we go. I'm gonna play this video. Hopefully there's sound, and then we can talk about it.
PGA Tour for decades has been trying to get players, has been trying to get fans, has been trying to get the media to call the Players Championship a major.
Sure.
And I felt like Wednesday night was a massive step backward.
This diminishes from it.
I feel like it does. It's not. And granted, there was a lot of people out there Wednesday watching, cheering. They had a huge following, bigger crowd than I ever saw following me at the Players Championship. That's for sure. But Augusta, the tradition of the par 3 contest. Can you imagine a Creator Classic Wednesday evening before the U.S. Open?
Yeah, you know what? I could imagine that, and I think it'd be so sick. Right? But like,
Hey, and they kind of did it, right? Like a few years ago, Augusta had the Dude Perfect guys out there with
Yeah.
Bryson doing trick shots around Amen Corner, right? Like that guy's opinion is so ass backwards and asinine
yeah.
that it shows why golf is taking so long to move into. I hate the term grow the game.
Mhm.
I really hate it, right? Like
Mhm.
I honestly think we should shrink the game because of some of the problems we're having in it.
Mhm.
But we are trying to showcase golf in a different manner, and the PGA Tour has their own problems, right?
Yep.
They have viewership problems. They have sponsors like hemorrhaging left and right from the events. They have players leaving to go to live, right? So they're fighting a battle to get a new demographic of golfer to watch their products, right?
Mhm.
We are in a business of eyeballs. Like I know I get about 5 million views on my content a week. You probably get a little bit more. You have a bigger profile. That's more than Golf Channel gets, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And the fact that those guys are going to sit in the Golf Channel studio and say, this is a negative impact on the Players Championship. You win. I didn't go. It really shows how much we have to move the needle. The royal we, not me and you, but
Yeah.
we as like creators, because there is so much legwork to be done and so much still left on the table. I could imagine the Augusta having a Creator Classic. I could imagine the U.S. Open having a Creator Classic, and I would rather watch that than watch, a guy shooting a 62. You know, it was more. I didn't get to watch it live because I have 3 kids and it was bedtime, and that's, same thing. But I got to watch the replay, and I had more fun watching, not Trent, but I had more fun watching Roger and Grant and those guys like really try to play well in front of a crowd under pressure than I did watching the tournament, right? Like I didn't really watch any of the tournament until Monday. I got to see the playoff because my kids were at school mainly. But yeah, that guy, it blew my mind when I saw that.
For him, when he's talking about how they obviously didn't like it, didn't agree with it, like, was it just me? Did I miss the rest of the clip of where he explained like why? Why is that bad? Why is it negative? Are you talking like it's destroying course conditions? Are you taking away
Trent Ryan from Barstool did destroy course conditions.
A couple divvies off the box might hurt, but it's interesting to me too, because I feel like we're in a situation as well where it's almost like a lose-lose. Because if we do support that, right? I think it would be sick to play in that someday. I would love to.
Yeah, same.
But at the same time, like, I don't understand how there's that negative when our job title is literally golf influence. So we're trying to bring that influence to PGA, right? To LIV. I don't really care. Even though that division is so like mind blowing on like how people are so up and down on everything, and that can be a whole other topic for another day too. But I think like what they don't understand is the amount of kids who are getting into golf and who are in golf at, and I say kids, let's say that's 18 and under. I don't know, right? Okay, then you have young adults till 30, and then you have, what we are. And then you have someone who's older.
Whatever we are.
Someone who's 55, 60, probably doesn't give a shit about the Creator Classic, probably not watching it. It's so irrelevant at that point to them that those are the only people that seem to me have a negative effect or a negative connotation about the Creator Classic, right? Happening, where these kids that are trying to get into golf and they follow along with the Grant Horvats of the world, they follow along with the Gabby Golf Girls of the world. They're bringing such a cool aspect to that. It's making kids want to be in their shoes. It's making kids want to become professional golfers. It's driving that needle for them. Yes, it's growing the game in a different way, but like everyone says, grow the game. Again, I agree with you too. I think you can only grow the game so far, where we've seen the COVID explosion of it. It's almost like we just need more courses everywhere, and stuff is so insanely expensive. So it's like, okay, do we have to shrink the game a little bit? But like, obviously not. Like, it's just so interesting to me. I think it would be so cool to have a Creator Classic even at the par 3 at the Augusta and the certain at the U.S. Open, at the Ryder Cup. So like have a Ryder Cup style one. How sick would that be? Your top,
that'd be wild.
Your top ones from U.S. and Europe. Like, I mean, now who wouldn't watch that? And I say that obviously because we're speaking with like-minded audience. We're in that realm. Like, I know who won't watch it. I get that. But that would be some of the coolest stuff that the PGA has done, and obviously it works. That's why they do it.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It's working. It worked. It worked at East Lake. It worked at the Players Championship, and it's going to work for the rest of the season because I think they have like 3 or 4 more set up. So hopefully,
like you said,
they invite us one day
with eyeballs, right? Like, you have your 5 million eyeballs a week on Instagram. You were saying, and mine, it's a little bit slightly higher. I like to go the 60 days, but like, the 60-day mark for me just on Instagram is 35 million. in 60, and then that doesn't even take over like TikTok. All right, so we're at a combined following every 60 days. I'm reaching 70 million people,
Yeah.
70 million people, and he's
That's
acting like
the population of Australia,
so when you have that
roughly.
many people every,
I
and
think.
I'm not even 100% showcasing golf all the time. They're not watching me play. So if you have like, think about those 1 million subscribers that Grant Horvat has, and the amount of he's reaching within niche into that industry, playing there, playing at the Creator Classic, how many eyeballs that's getting. That is the greatest thing that they could possibly have happen to them, right? So the guy on the Golf Channel or whatever, when they're getting, you know, minimal views, like it's like, dude, I don't know. I don't know why you have that negative connotation towards, let's say, us, because we're in that realm,
Yes.
right?
So I'll fact check myself. I'm multitasking as producer. So 70 million people over across 60 days, right?
Yep.
Combined, that's our combined audience. That's the population of France.
Mm-hmm.
France is a population of 68 million.
Yeah. In 60 days.
So
So
in 60
every
days.
60 days, we're talking that this happens.
The population of France. That's a
Yeah.
lot. It's
That's
a lot of eyeballs.
people. That's a lot of eyeballs. That's a lot of influence, and I think that's where people don't see how those eyeballs equate to just marketing in general. Back to like
Yeah.
our roots, right, of school. And I think it's funny too that you have that same little bit of background as I do for that, the marketing, schooling, and advertising. It's like I factor all that into like the content I make too, right? You have like
Yeah,
those good
same.
hooks, you have colorations on screen, the way you edit, all of that like factors in, where I think people don't understand. Like, you can't just pull your phone out and like get your job done.
Do it.
Like, there's a lot
Yeah.
more that goes into it. So I
Yep.
mean, that's a long way around about where we came from, why we love golf, and where we think it's going, right? But
Yeah. Yeah. So, well,
take it one step further. Where do you, like, now that you're a dad and it is your job, like, how often do you get to play? Is it challenging at being a dad? Like, what does that look like for you now? Now I know you have that it's also my job type
yeah.
ask, where you can kind of escape a little bit more, but
Yeah. So I typically, if I get to play, because I still have a
Mhm.
full-time job, right? So
Mhm.
I'm not really able to go play middle of the week. I could
Yep.
and can flex my hours a little bit, but um, I typically play when I travel for my social media job, right? So
Mhm.
my wife and I just joined a new club here in North Carolina, and we joined, I don't know, a few months ago. And when I looked back at my gin from the past year, because I was like trying to figure out, like, is this really worth it? Do we need to join a country club? Like, should we? And I was like, all right, cool. I played 47 rounds of golf last year, which is
Yep.
it's almost once a week.
Yep.
I think it was like 5 of them were in Wilmington where I live. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's not a lot. And that includes 9-hole rounds. That's everything, right? It's all the rounds on gin.
Yep.
So I typically don't get to play a lot. I practice a lot. I go hit balls, once or twice a week at minimum. I just got new clubs. I just got some Mizunos, and I'm very excited to like try to work on getting my handicap down to close to yours. Maybe
Heck yeah.
when we play our match, be competitive. But I don't get to play a lot, but I do get the benefit of, this is a job.
Mm-hmm.
If I need to, like, if I need to say to my wife, like, hey, like, I gotta go today, like on a Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, it's fine. It's my job. I typically don't go on the weekends ever, just because I feel bad leaving her with 3 kids. Like, it's more of like a guilt thing. I just don't want to do that, because even though it's my job, I still am getting some enjoyment out of it. And even though that I'm working and, have my phone on me and I have this like list of things that I'm going to do, I'm still enjoying golf. So yeah, I don't get to play a ton. I mean, relative, right? I play 35, 40 times a year. I haven't played a full round of golf since January.
Oh wow.
But I've played like 2 or 3 holes here and there. And that's how a lot of times when I make my content, it's like, hey, cool, I'm going to go out, I'm going to practice for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to play 3 holes.
Yep.
And it's not logged in gin, but I play 3 holes, I get the content that I need to get, and I bounce and go about my day. So yeah, it's different. It's a
Well,
different kind
I
of
think
way to look at it.
that's where people also don't understand. Like, you don't get to do that every single day. You may
No,
portray that you
it may
golf a
look that
lot,
way.
but
I tell
like,
people that all the time. I'm like, it may look like I'm playing golf every day,
yeah,
but I'm not. And a lot of times, I'll take a change of clothes to the golf course
yeah.
and
But
change clothes,
you got to get the
and
job done. I trust me. I know.
yeah,
I've been married. Oops. I do that all the time. Like, not all the time. I get out a little bit more than you.
yeah.
I
But
think
this is your full time job now.
this is my full time job as about like a year and a half ago. Um, so I truly can't, like, my work is, to play and to golf, and a lot of like the meetings I have even for social media like will take place on the golf course, or like
Yeah,
I go and I travel. Same with you. I travel a lot for
and
this
you play on the
industry,
road.
and play on the road. And when I'm on the road,
Yeah,
all I do is play, and playing with other creators. And
yeah,
again, I love the fact that like I'm not constantly videoing every single shot I have. And so part of me is like, I'll play with some people that like that's all they do, right? That's all on course stuff, and they're consistently playing. And I'm kind of can sit back and like actually like and just enjoy. I'm like, what? I
yeah,
don't do like filming on the course day with me playing. I'm gonna do like golf comedy today. I'm gonna do like golf lifestyle. And like once I get to the course, the video's gonna end. Like ready, like gearing up, like come golf with me today. Boom, and then like after my tee shot, like the video ends, right? So it's like
yeah,
I can actually still enjoy it too, but like I chose that for a reason. I didn't want to have that burnout. I also, it's a little bit different. So I know you're in Wilmington. We spend half of we're Florida residents. So we spend about 7 months down in Naples, and then we spend the remaining 5 months, summer months, up in Minnesota. And so, for me, for the longest time until that happened, like Minnesota, you had 6 months of golf,
yeah.
7 months, 8 months if you're really, really, really lucky of like actual quality like golf, right? Um, and so once I moved down here 5, 6 years ago, it really like took off, right? So before our baby, she's just 18 months. I was playing 140 rounds a year, but then like after having her, I think last year,
140.
yeah, I think the 140 the year before was that like 185, and then we had her. So I was like cramming everything. And when my wife was pregnant, we lived right on a course there. I was like, I would go on every
So,
single day.
so you were playing two
Every
and a half rounds a week.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So even with this being I still get out 2 times a week.
I'm envious, and
Yeah,
everybody listening like is
yeah.
envious too. So,
Challenging.
and
I will say it's challenging. Okay, so down in Naples, it's a little bit different. Like I can't just go. You have to be part of a club, really. Like
yeah, well,
unless
that's how it is here in
yeah.
Wilmington, right? There's one fully public course, which is
Mm-hmm.
the Wilmington Municipal, which is
Yep.
great. The No Lane Up guys did a video there a few years ago. It's like Donald Ross, like 1860 Donald Ross course or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crowded because it's the only course in Wilmington, and there's one course on either side of town that's a semi-private club, but they're super expensive, right? It's like $100 to play around. At this other one, that is dog shit. Like I wouldn't pay that. I'm not gonna say the name because I don't
Yeah.
want to give them a bad name, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay that, right?
Yeah.
It's not worth it. And the other one on the other side of town is Castle Bay. It's a nice course. It's a little cheaper. I know those guys; they're good guys. But that's the only options, right? You can either drive to Myrtle Beach an hour to go play golf, or you're a member of one of like the 6 private clubs.
Yeah.
So that's what I was looking at. I was like, cool. If I want to keep doing this
Mm-hmm.
and have somewhere to practice consistently, you got to join a club.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the same way here. And then figure in like the season factor of it. So in March, I mean, dude, there are public rates down here. If you want to play it,
It-
if you want, I love Tiburon down here, which they host a couple, the Grand Thornton
Yeah.
event. Right now, if I want to book on a tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., $485.
No
You think I'm
thanks.
playing $485? I'm not playing. So like it gets it's
No.
been tricky down here, but we have our network of friends, and I used to dabble in real estate down here, and a lot of people where I'm from in Minnesota, and actually that Bear Path job I had when I was little, like um, a lot of the members are still members there and come down here and they'll reach out to me. Hey, we need a fourth today. Can you come on play? So like I rock America's Guest so hard down here. It's awesome.
Good for
But at
you.
the same time, I can't just throw up my tripod. I can't just whip out the phone at a private
Yeah.
club and like start recording like all my shots.
And
Like, the members
that was
hate
one of
that.
the reasons why
They
I
hate that.
wanted, like, I ultimately decided we should join was
Yeah.
because, like, when you're somebody's guest, like, you're not pulling out your tripod or
No.
monopod or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of feel weird about it. And
Sure.
there's one course here in town that I've played a couple times. It's called Eagle Point. They played the Wells Fargo there in 2017.
Yeah.
And it's like a leave your phone in the car situation.
Yeah.
Like, one of the guys I played with was like, hey, probably don't break your phone. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, sounds good. Like,
I had
I
that,
left it at
one
home.
the other day too. We went out and played. He's like, just so you know, like phones are kind of like frowned upon here. I'm like, dude, totally understand. I expect that. Like,
Yeah.
um,
It'll
so
stay in the
that-
truck.
Yeah, and that's where people are like, well, then if you're going to golf all the time, like, how is that your job? It's like you don't understand. Like, I can do the prequel to there, right?
Yeah.
I can do like you do the country club, how to dress like a country club dad, right? Like,
Yeah.
the same thing. I have very similar style videos that you do, but that's what's so fun. It's like it doesn't have to be on course, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think we were both before your Mizuno, we were both PXG guys. I think
Yep.
I like their equipment for that time, but that'll be sick
It-
to see you rocking Mizunos. Pumped for
Yeah.
you.
And yeah. I got fit into the JPX forged irons. Like so I did a brand agnostic fitting, which is cool.
Mhm.
And cause I did a fitting, I guess like 6 years ago. I was still living in California. So like maybe 8 years ago. And I got fit into Mizunos at the time. And then I couldn't afford them because I was like, saving for a wedding ring.
For
So I
sure.
just kept playing like whatever my old Callaways were. And so then I got a set of TaylorMades, and then I got my situation with PXG, and I did that stuff for 5 years with them. And it was a great company, great people at the company, and
Yeah.
very thankful for the time that I had there.
100%.
But now that I just did this brand agnostic fitting, it was so eye opening to see how good everything was. And then when I first hit those Mizunos, it was like a knife through butter. Like, oh my God. Yeah. And so got those, and I got some wedges, same thing, did a brand agnostic situation and ended up in the Mizuno wedges. And I just ordered the blue ones. Like they're
sick.
like a chrome blue wedge.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped to get them. I
Nice.
think they're coming today or tomorrow. So I keep looking out the door, like maybe UPS is going to
Maybe
stop by.
today's the day, Christmas
Maybe
morning.
today's the day.
Yeah.
Well, it got delayed twice, so I was like, maybe it's coming. So, and then you said you just got fit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I just basically went through that same process as you. Fortunately not allowed to say quite yet, but you'll know soon. But it's kind of cool.
I
Same
know.
thing. All love. Yeah, you know. All love from PXG too. They were, believe it or not, they were my first ever brand deal ever on,
Really?
on TikTok, on everything. They were the first ones to reach out. So nothing but love for their team. Great equipment, great people on the back end there. So it'll be interesting going forward. Super excited. I got to play yesterday for the first time with them.
How'd you play
And
with them?
I played okay. I thought it would be a lot smoother of transition, and I think you can probably relate to that too, where
Yeah.
you you go and get refit, you get all these new specs. Not one thing of what I had before stayed the same. Like
Same.
total everything from weighting of shafts, flex points of shafts, different types of shafts, to the different club heads, to the different like number of wedges I have, top end of the bag, went through a whole revamp. So it's like my yardages were also off because I hadn't even gone to a range session. I just grabbed them, unwrapped them, and just started playing. So I was a little bit thrown off. I did break 80, so I can't be too mad. Like every time I go and play, I just try to break 80.
Yeah. So that kind of leads me to the next thing.
Yeah.
When you go out and play, like obviously my thing's break 80 because I'm a 7, 8 handicap, 9 if I don't play a lot, right? And I lose my kind of feel. So my average scores are 82 to 88, right?
Yeah.
90 if I'm playing terrible.
Yeah.
When you go out and play, like, are you aiming to shoot like around 76? Like, is it even par round good for you? Like, what's your goal when you go out there?
My goal is I kind of set the bar low, if you would, right? So like
Or high.
I have always had a really shitty time putting.
Okay.
is kind of been my little kryptonite. So
I got something for you then. I won't say. I got a bag of things for you in my garage.
I know what you're alluding to on that one. Um, so so for me, like I set that at I want to shoot 79. Now, like I said, at my gin's down with 3.1, 3.2, whatever it's at. Um, my average score 75 to 81. Right,
Okay.
so that's right in there. So I set that bar. I guess I
So
would.
75 would be your break 80, right? If like for me, my thing's break 80. Like
Yeah.
I want to aim to break 80 every time. I've done it, I don't know, half dozen times, six times maybe. So your thing would be like, you want to break 75. Like that's your
Oh yeah, if I'm going out
game.
and be like, holy shit, I just played so great today. Like I had a 72 and a 73 back to back days like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I'm playing lights out. Like this is amazing.
You're like, should I get new clubs?
I had so
Should I
yeah,
get new
right.
clubs?
I had so much fun doing it, and then then it's golf. Like last week, I went out and I ripped an 84.
Yeah.
So it's like, but those happens. The course conditions also, like how that goes, and but like yesterday, go out there, rip 79, happy with it. New clubs, all new feel. Like I can't complain about that. 1 3 putt all day, not horrible. But that's my other thing too is like I also see like I count my putts on every time I'm playing. So I'm like, holy shit, I hit the ball really well today, and I just went out of my mind. I'm just a mental freaking head case when I get on the green, and it's so like golf is so mental, right?
Yeah.
I'm so confident with my driver. I can don't worry about bunkers, water. I can take that all out of consideration. I get on the green and I'm like, my hands are shaking. I'm like, dude, really? It's like it should be the easiest part, and it's not. And so I also never practice. Like you say, you like go to the range a lot. Like,
Dude, I'm a range rat. I love going out.
mhm,
And one of my favorite things to do is do a golf lunch. And I
mhm,
will literally like, cause I'll meal prep or I'll pick up
yeah,
food or whatever, go to the golf course and spend an hour and a half just like banging balls, like
yeah,
chipping, putting not so much, but I need to do it more. But like just grinding on the range. I love it.
yeah. And that's where, for me, I like don't. Number one, I don't really have a range to go to and do that, right? Because I'm not a member anywhere. I also um, enables. I don't want to pay $25 for a bucket of balls.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm a
See,
quarter away to playing golf. Like I'm just gonna pay $100 and go play, or 150 and whatever. So
yeah,
that would really help me. And like I've never once in my life gotten lessons. Dude,
that would help
if
too.
I actually hit the range and got some like instruction, we might be cooking with something here.
Yeah.
Like this maybe I
Creator
should,
Classic. Here we come.
right?
DJ Thoma.
Like maybe I should think about doing something like that. And I have some cool stuff coming this summer that um will kind of involve that stuff too. So it'll be interesting to see like what happens. I'm not doing a swing change. Good Lord, no. I would feel, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
kind of like how you feel doing something opposite handed. I just lose my mind. I just like,
Yeah.
but
See, I do lessons like once a week. Like I
okay.
have my guy here, Nicky Beecroft, he did my fitting for
Yeah,
my clubs too. Great guy. We're doing some swing change stuff, but I don't know, because I also love like fitness and working out
for
and like
sure.
training and all that kind of thing. So if I don't have something I'm like working towards, like both fitness and golf wise, like I have no desire to go do it. But
Hmm.
for whatever reason, like I can go and get almost as much out of hour and a half, hour long range session as I can from like a full round of golf.
Yep.
Like for me, it's almost like the mental like clarity that I get from it too. So
Hmm.
yeah, you got to get a driving range and a coach.
Yeah. It's in the works coming this summer.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But
Yeah. So we kind of got off track there, but I wanted to ask. So you kind of want to break 75 every time you go out there. What do you think's harder? Is it like breaking 75 or like wrangling kids with no help from your wife? Like your wife's gone for the day or the weekend. Like you have one kid, so like for
I
you,
have it much
which one's
easier
harder?
than you. I will say that. I think so because of the fact that it's just one child at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say breaking 75 is much harder than wrangling one child. However, if I was in a situation where like we have play dates and we have
Yeah.
friends and families that all have babies around our age, and all of a sudden like it's our turn to watch, right? All of a sudden now it's two or three, and I'm like, oh boy, I don't know if I'm ready for number two yet, or like one's always easy, two's an adjustment, and three I've heard is just fucking wild card. So you can probably test that a little bit as well. So that's kind of my answer on that.
Yeah. So I think it's
For right
funny.
now.
Like, so I got thrown into the deep end, my wife and I, because we had twins out the gates, right? In
Yeah.
COVID. They were COVID babies. And so, like, I don't have experience having one kid. Like, it was
Mhm.
always two for us, right? Like, both of us had a kid in our hands at all times. So my head's always been on a swivel. And, like, I honestly think breaking 80s uh, definitely harder than wrangling three kids.
Yeah.
Like, like it just is what it is. Like
Yep.
you have one kid, it's one-on-one. Like I have some friends that have one kid and it's like, whatever, like they're same situation as you. It's like, you're overwhelmed, but you're overwhelmed like in your current mental state. Right.
Right.
And then you have two and your mind changes a little bit. Your brain changes a little bit. Like you get a little bit more capacity for like being overwhelmed. And then three, you're just overwhelmed at all times. So it's just whatever. And you kind of have to take that. And I've had to learn that myself because I was an only child, so am an only child.
same.
So, and I want like my kids to act a certain way.
Mhm.
And so like I get in my own head sometimes and I find myself being a little too hard on my 4-year-olds. I'm like, and I have to remind myself they're 4 and it's fine. Like nobody cares that they're being loud and they're crazy and I say they're feral. Like nobody cares. It's fine. So, yeah, breaking 80, definitely
Yeah.
harder.
So basically the same answer, that I
Yeah.
had, you had too, and I think that let's even put that like one step further of like, all right, kids, we have routines, right? You have a golf routine, but you don't know course conditions that day. You don't know if you're gonna have the shanks or the yips. You don't know with a
You don't know
child.
what's showing up.
I know exactly, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that's the reason why I am not as good as I want to be for golf too. It was like I know what to expect in these certain situations, like with our daughter, right? I know
Yeah.
how. I know there's a more set playbook which I have geared up in my mind. Like I can conquer that, and then I don't like the golf course. I get wigged out on greens, or I get certain situations at home with the baby. I don't. So
Yeah.
that comfort level of that, and not everyone is like that, right? Everyone has a different experience being a dad, and that's what's great about it too. I'm as also an only child, so for me, similar aspect to you is like we want to have more. I would love to have two, maybe three. My mom thinks she wants to have we should have five, but like no.
5's too much.
And the in-laws are like, yeah, well, you should have 4 or 5 kids, and my wife's like, absolutely not.
No.
She had a
Like,
pretty
so,
tough pregnancy too, so it was like,
yeah, two's great. Like we had 2 out the gates, right? Like I love having 2 kids.
yeah,
My wife says she feels more complete with 3.
okay,
Like, family feels more complete. Verdict's still out on that for me. I love all my kids, but is what it is. And yeah, it's just a different mindset.
so
It's-
is 3
it's all it
is 3 it for you, or you? Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Cutting it off.
yeah.
Cutting it off. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, how in your let's see. Wait, how old are you?
35.
Okay. Well, so you're 4 years older than me. That's not.
Yeah. Not too
Yeah,
bad.
I got time. You got time to talk
Yeah.
about a couple more.
Yeah, we didn't have I guess I was 30 when we had our twins. So yeah, enough time.
That's it. Yeah. No, I was 29 with her, and it's a great age. I think it was like it was fun. She was, let's see, she's 2 years younger, so a little bit different, but it's cool to see to that transition. I don't know how you guys are with like friends and family too. Like my wife only has a sister and she doesn't have kids, but I'm really close with like all my cousins, and we have a ton of friends, and everyone has babies the same age. So it's super fun to be around that, and sometimes it feels like we have more than one, right? Because you have this
Yeah.
love for like all of your friends and your families, their kids, and dude, it's definitely the most fun part of my life right now. I've loved every stage of my life, but this is the most meaningful, most impactful, right? So which for me is fun.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's one of the things that I'm most looking forward to in the next few years is my kids getting into golf
Hmm.
because like one of my earliest memories is my grandfather taking me to play golf because my dad passed away when I was really little. But he was a golfer and played golf at a really high level. They did some mini tours before and during law school. But so one of my earliest memories is going out with my grandfather to his. It's called a country club, but
Yeah.
it's like not a country club. But I remember going out with him and riding in the cart with like him and his golf buddies. He would play every Friday and every Saturday, and I would go and hang out with them. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever, right? To go out and just hang out at the golf course. So for me, like my son loves golf already. Like it begs me to go see Coach Jeff and go to the golf course and just hit balls and like just hang out.
Yeah.
My daughter, like she goes through spurts where she likes it and she's like, all right, I'm done. I just want to sit here. I just want
Hmm.
to look at my like iPad or whatever.
Yeah.
We're not iPad people, but she has like a fake one that's like
Yeah.
a tablet.
Yeah.
So she pretends. And so, yeah, like I'm so looking forward to like having, family vacations be golf trips, having, playing in like dad, son tournaments, Father's Day tournaments, all that kind of thing. Like that's the only reason that like, not the only reason, but it's the main reason that keeps me going in this and keeps me wanting to get better because I want him to enjoy it as much as I do. So we can have that. I mean, both my sons, right? Them enjoy it so we can have those times together because I see people who don't have the same hobbies as their kids, like they kind of grow apart as they get older.
Tough
But
for
then
sure.
my friends and even the tour players that I've met and talked to about this, the ones that are the closest with their dads are the ones that like take golf trips with them and
Mhm.
go and like they still play with him on Fridays or they still have their standing like game that they play and then
Mhm.
his dad invites him to play with his friends and their friends do that for their kids. Like that's one of the things that I'm like it's my earliest memory for sure, but it's like one of the things that I'm most looking forward to now having three kids. Like I have a full foursome. Like we're ready to go. Just my wife's I got her. She's gone for the day, right? Like
Yeah.
we're going to play golf today.
That's awesome. I feel like I have that. So my situation is with my dad, right? So, um, but I have that same situation like with my grandpa revolving like hunting, fishing, being in like an outdoorsman because like as much as I love golf, I love to do those things. And he recently passed, so it's been a tough transition to like see what that looks like without him right in my life and doing those hunting trips and those things. But back to like my dad and golf. He's one that got me into it. Every time he spends half the year down in Vero Beach and the other side of Florida, and then
Yeah,
up in Minneapolis suburbs as well. So I golf with my dad once a week, typically once every 2 weeks. And
that's
then
awesome.
like I brought him to the Players. He'd never been, I'd never been, so I'm like I wanted that first experience to like kind of be with him. So it's super cool to have those memories too. And I feel like that's something where golf is different than other sports, right? Where
Yeah,
you
you're not going out there with your dad
playing
and
hockey.
lacing up your skates and
Yeah.
playing hockey, right?
Yeah,
Like when
like
you're
maybe a beer league, men's league, but like it's not the same.
well,
Um,
like so I didn't grow up playing hockey, like, and I'm just getting into it now because all the guys in my neighborhood, like they're
yeah.
huge hockey fans, and we have the Canes here, right? So I've become a Canes fan. Um, And so they play in like the beer leagues. But my one friend Matt, like, dude, he plays like two or three times a week in a beer league. And every time I talk to him, he's also getting into golf. He's busted up. He's dislocated his shoulder. He's freaking like
Yeah.
got a black eye. Like
Hmm.
something's always like messed up his knee. Can't bend down. Like
Yep.
something's always wrong with him. And I'm like, buddy, you got to just play golf. Like
Yeah.
you already play golf once a week. Like you should probably like hang the skates up.
For sure. And it's so like golf is so like mental clearing, right? So like yes, obviously it's very frustrating. But there's something about being out in nature where it's just like freeing of your mind and like listening to the birds, like just being one with, the outdoors, right? That
Yeah.
I love. And I mean, I used to be that, you know, second, third line grinder in hockey too. My game was the physical game. I was the
Yeah.
one that wanted to go
You
hit
can't do that
someone.
forever.
get hit. Like, it takes a toll. Golf is just so nice. You don't have to just go out there and just swing, man. Get in the cart and have a beer for whatever you want to do. Maybe you're not drinking that day. Maybe you are. Also, like, I don't know how people do it. Like, I golf too much to drink every single time I play golf. That's not even possible, right? And then you come home, you have the dad doing
Yeah.
stuff. But I mean, I have friends and know people that, like, every time they go and play, it's more than one or two, and I'm like, how do you do this?
Yeah, well, you got to think like a lot of people they're not playing twice a week, right? And like I typically will have a drink when I play, but I
Yeah.
don't play often, right? Like I'll
Yeah.
play whatever once every 3 weeks.
Yep.
So I'll have a drink, but I I'll have a transfusion or I'll have a ranch water. Ranch water is one of my favorites. Like the can one's good, but a lot of courses don't have it.
Yep.
They do, so I'll do like tequila soda and a splash of lime, or
Love
like
that.
tequila lemonade. That's been my thing all summer long. Last year was tequila and lemonade, and so I'll do that and like cool, like I'm good with two of these and I can do that. But I'm not playing like twice a week.
Right.
If I was, but I will say if I'm gearing up to play in like a tournament or like I have a big like situation that I got to play well for, not
Yeah.
touching it, not
Yeah.
drinking at all. Like
Yeah.
I'm packing protein bars. I'm keeping my blood sugar relatively low. I'm not drinking I'm not eating sugar on the golf course. Like
Yeah.
I'm going all in on the health aspect of it.
Yeah. I'm similar, like, right? So if I play 2 or 3 times a week, one of those times I'm having beverages. If it's
Yeah.
both weekends and they're like afternoon rounds where I'm not really going to be involved with bedtime or the situation, right? You read the room of what's going on.
Yeah.
But my
If you're going
go-to-
home and you got to be on dad duty, like
yeah,
don't come
absolutely
home
not. Like,
ju-
yeah,
saucy.
yeah, and but my favorite lately on course has been the athletes, little Gatorade, little vodka,
Okay.
staying hydrated. Love
I
that.
tell my father-in-law that one. He's a vodka drinker.
Yeah. Well, tell him athlete. It's a light blue Gatorade to be exact, but drink it down the neck a little bit. Have him just do a double rate on the top of the bottle, and you're good to go.
He's gonna love
that's
that
like-
one.
That's my favorite. And then
It's called
I'm a
the
beer guy,
Athlete?
too. Yeah, we call it an athlete.
Okay.
I'm a beer guy too, so I mean, ultra cracked heart. I don't know, cold ultra never hurt anyone. So
Yeah. See, I don't do a lot of beer. Like I've never really liked it.
I probably shouldn't. Like, you can see this little puffiness around here, a little swan up here, but hey, we can
okay.
we can shed those another day.
Switch tequila and you'll
Yeah,
shed LBs.
that's why I've heard that it's the healthiest thing to drink. If you're gonna drink,
So I hear. I don't know. I drink a lot of bourbon too though, so and red wine. See, my
Yeah.
thing is like I like red wine, and that's like every night I'm typically having a glass of red wine.
Yeah.
Or a bourbon. But like I don't know. It's all about moderation. Like
right?
that's my thing. If
Zin
I
guy?
can say
Are
no,
you a Zin guy, tobacco guy at all, or no?
yeah. So I don't do tobacco. I'll do Black Buffaloes are one that I've tried. I like
Okay.
Black Buffaloes a lot, but I can only get them at Circle K's
Yep.
gas stations, or if you order them online. And then I don't like Zins because Zins will give me a headache.
Yep.
And then Tucker Carlson's to company the Alps pouches.
Yeah.
They sent me a bunch of those.
Oh,
Dude,
sweet.
those things like knocked me out. Like
Really?
I straight up threw up after like putting one in because it was like 9 milligrams or whatever.
Yeah. See,
Um,
that's too much for me. I'm like I'm
a
like
three
a tried
guy.
and through the three Zin guy, but
yeah.
I mean, growing up and being like an outdoorsman and playing hockey, I swear like everyone had a tobacco addiction, right, or a nicotine addiction, and I was always Grizzly wintergreen pouches for the longest time, and then obviously the wife didn't love that.
Yeah.
So
I remember
it's not a daily thing, right? But if I'm gonna go
No.
be with the guys, or if like I'm gonna go and play with the guys, like yesterday I went out and played, didn't have one all day. Like I don't need to have it. It's just something to like fidget with and do. Road
Yeah.
trips, obviously, I'm gonna probably have one in.
Yeah. Well, what I've learned is similar situation. I did when I first started dating my wife. She found a can of Grizzly wintergreen, like long cut, in my truck, and was like, "You're not doing this." Like,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not. So she straight up threw it out, brand new can. I was like, "That was rude." First of all, and then now, like, I do the pouches, right? And there's so many studies coming out about how nicotine is good for your brain
Yeah.
and good. I'm going to say something before I get into this. I am not a medical professional.
Yeah.
Do not listen to me for medical advice. But there's all these studies that are coming out about how nicotine is good for your brain and could be a good like Alzheimer's preventer and Parkinson's preventer, and how, it's good for cognitive function and memory and all these other things. So now I kind of justify it. I'm like, well, I could use a little help. Like, my brain's not functioning great.
Is the nicotine really bad for you, or is it all the other chemicals and bullshit that's mixed with it, right? So
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, all right, it's the nicotine's good.
You said that because my mom literally said the other day, she's like, I read a study lately that, nicotine's actually pretty, like, it's not like as bad as they take for you. Like, it actually can help in these certain situations. And I was like, so now that you just said that, I'm definitely gonna like call her after this and be like, yo, Blair said the same thing as you. So like, I'm off the hook a little bit, right? But
yeah. And I don't know how true that is. I've heard Joe Rogan say it. I've heard, Gary Brecka say it. So do your own research. But who knows? The National Institute of Health has a article on their website about nicotine as a cognitive enhancer. So there you go.
All right.
They know their stuff.
Take that for what you will, everyone. Like we said, your own risk.
Yeah. Take it for what you will. So cool. Well, let's wrap this thing up. We've been going an hour. This is fun. DJ, where can everybody find you at?
Social media, obviously, Instagram and TikTok, just at DJ Thoma, Thoma, however you want to say it, doesn't matter to me. Like we said, it's going to be golf, cooking, family lifestyle, stuff there. So, what about you, Blair?
Yeah, just Blair Wheeler, on everywhere. I don't. Everybody tells me I need to do more TikTok. I hate TikTok. Like, I can't get over like the fact that I don't personally like it. So I always don't post there. So I post on every other platform.
So funny because I was so opposite. I was tried and true TikTok. I loved it, and then I like had to like refigure out. I'm like, okay, Instagram is this like different ball game. Like, can I go as unfiltered? Like, I felt like I loved the unfilteredness at first of the TikTok, but no, it's crazy too how different each platform is. A lot of it's cross posting. You're gonna see similar videos, but it's cool to see like who people like to align with and use for their kind of go-to platform. So Instagram's my main one. It's just Blair Wheeler. It's golf stuff, husband stuff, more relatable, like comedy focused content, but then a lot of like look into like my daily life, like what's it look like for me being a stay-at-home, like I work from home guy, like I have a regular 9 to 5, like what's that look like? What's the brand agnostic iron fitting look like? Peek behind the scenes in terms of that stuff. So that's where you can find me. I'm there. And then next week we're gonna start doing these episodes every week, which I'm excited about. So next week we're gonna be recording and we're gonna talk about like some of the upcoming travel we have, some of the upcoming plans we have, and then some of the things we're looking forward to most this year, because it sounds like we're gonna be traveling a lot, maybe together. So that'll be fun. That's
looking. And we could talk about the Valspar because that's you said it's pretty close to you. So
I think it's hilarious. It's like you have all these jobs and you fly around the country and go do these in different events, and I'm like, this one's literally an hour and a half away, and I have no I'm not going to it. I have no job correlation to it, so I'm like, interesting. No, maybe I should go to this one next year. But we can do a recap next week of I was at the Players. We can touch base on that, Valspar, kind of what's up and coming, like you said, and we're gonna. Seems like we'll be on the road a little bit together too, which would be freaking awesome. And I mean, I don't know where people are going to comment on this, if it's on YouTube, on wherever, but like, let us know what you guys are when you see the clips in social media, whatever. Comment what you guys want to hear about. Give us questions. We're going to have some awesome guests on here as well too. So
I've been texting with some of my friends. They're eager and interested to come on. So make sure to like, follow, subscribe, share. Follow. I made an Instagram for the podcast called Twosome Pod.
Hell yeah.
So follow that, and we'll catch you next week.
Absolutely.